Hello, I'm Jackson Bird, and today is the International Transgender Day of Visibility. Ta-da! It's like Christmas for trans people, except we don't get gifts. We just try to fight against being beaten up. It's great. Being trans is great. No, it is. That's what today is all about. The holiday was started in 2009 by Rachel Crandall to counter the solemnity of Transgender Day of Remembrance in November. On that important day, we remember those of us lost to violence and transphobia. By contrast, today is a day of celebration and pride for the beauty and diversity of our trans experiences. Every year, there is a theme, and this year's theme is resistance. Because of course it is. How could it not be? The Trans Student Educational Resource puts it so well that I'm gonna steal their words. In the increasingly transphobic global political climate, we must use our newfound visibility to mobilize trans people against oppression. While visibility is important, we must take action against transphobia. Visibility is not enough alone to bring transgender liberation. However, we can use visibility as a vital tool for transgender justice. Visibility is complicated. It's good for people to know more about what it means to be trans and for trans people to feel less alone, but it can also lead to more violence when people can no longer simply forget that we're here. You may have seen me posting about trans visibility throughout the month using the 31 Days of Trans Visibility hashtag started by Allison Kinney. Projects like that are so important to expand our visibility of trans people, but also to resist the systems of oppression that would keep us down. By telling our stories in our own ways, we are challenging stereotypes and disseminating crucial information about the complexity, authenticity, and persistence of our existence. So, in honor of Trans Day of Visibility and the theme of resistance, I am overjoyed and nervous to announce a new project I've been working on to amplify the voices of trans people of all different backgrounds and experiences. Coming in April next month is my new podcast, Transmission. Each week, I'll be sitting down to talk to a different trans person about what it's like living in this new age of heightened visibility, and about how we can start building bridges of awareness to all of the cisgender people out there. I want to cut up the reductive noise of misconceptions and break through the surface level knowledge of trans people. I want visibility to happen on our terms. I want people to start understanding with compassion instead of tolerating without comprehension. Now, I know everyone and their mom is starting a podcast right now, but I truly believe that this is the best medium to achieve these goals. The lack of video allows people to remain anonymous if they need to be, which widens my pool of trans people I can talk to from just people who are already open and public about their identity. There's also less pressure to make a short, snackable, packaged product like with YouTube videos, so I won't have to cut anyone's stories short. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda hoping that the inherent intimacy of the podcast listening experience will help open some hearts and minds. Or not. I mean, who knows, especially these days. But in any case, it'll be launching in April, probably on a Tuesday, because Transmission Tuesday is kind of catchy. You can follow the show on SoundCloud, Facebook, the official podcast blog page, and also follow me on Twitter for updates and to find out when it is actually launching. It will be in April, God willing. All those links are down in the description box for you. Of course, you know the drill. You know how this goes. Also, it'll be on iTunes as soon as iTunes will have me. I am starting the podcast off pretty modestly, but I can't wait to expand it in all directions, so I would super appreciate all of you checking it out and supporting it now in its early days to help get it off its feet. Thank you so much to everyone who has helped me out with Transmission so far, especially to Ted, with whom I am a resident right now. I haven't talked about that much, but I'm currently in the TED residency program. They're providing me with a workspace and a lot of mentorship that is helping with this podcast. They're also letting me give a TED Talk this summer, which I feel like they don't know what they've gotten themselves into with that one. I'm probably either gonna call out the cis hardcore or else play that clip of Jeff Goldblum laughing on loop for 10 minutes. Whoops. Anyways, here is a preview of episode 2 of Transmission. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
What I was gonna say is people...
I don't know if the mics are picking that up, but every time Aaron tries to get serious again, the instrument just starts. Oh, it's so good.
That's just rude. That's just someone...
It's like they can hear us and they're just purposefully cutting you off.
Yeah. Again, with the overlap of public and private space
well,
in
exactly.
New York City.
Yeah, completely.
Can't record a podcast in peace. So...
This is Transmission, a new podcast amplifying the stories of transgender people of today. I'm Jackson Bird, and each episode I'll be sitting down with a fellow trans person to hear their story.
who they are, how they got here, what it's like navigating this new age of heightened trans visibility, and who they are beyond being trans. Well, okay, important question before we do dive in. What is your Hogwarts house?
Lately, I've been getting more specific.
You know
with
that it's
this.
gonna be a long answer when it starts with a sigh.
When I'm able to view the people perpetrating that violence with the most compassion possible, I'm able to see that what they're reacting to is what has already been wounded and taken away from them. They've already been policed. They've already experienced violence, even as cisgender people whose current gender identity is congruent with the sex that they were assigned at birth. And when I get harassed and when I experience violence, I often see it as someone saying, basically, like, why do you get to do this? There definitely are a bunch of people that I've been following for years who really inspire me in terms of the way that they consciously construct their gender online and speak new trans realities into existence.
We're definitely in that age of, like, we are all putting our stories out there. Like, we are not silencing ourselves. We have those platforms to be able to tell our stories now. This conversation and more continues on Transmission, which launches in April. Please subscribe wherever you're listening, and be sure to follow the podcast on facebook.com/transmissionpodcast or me at JackIsNotABird on Twitter to be the first to hear Transmission when it launches.